Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another very interesting video. Because today's one, we're going to be taking a look at some really interesting concept art that was revealed for the upcoming Timothy Drw Comics. And oh boy, this one is really interesting and really amazing. And I feel like we do need to talk about this because it could be really interesting to see where we do take the comics next. Okay, so to give you a little bit more context with the Drw Comics as of right now, so currently they're finishing off the next story arc, which is Damage Done, and it's decent for the most part, I want to say. But in issue 145, that'll be the beginning of the new story arc, which will be leading up to issue 150, which will be the next big milestone, and will be the next big thing for Turtles. Now currently for the next story arc, the big villain who's supposed to be the big bad is supposed to be Armagon, and it's interesting for the most part just because the character, he hasn't really interacted with anyone really, and he's more of a character which basically he shows up when he needs to be and could destroy everything and then the comic book series if it really comes to that. So it's a pretty interesting character and stuff like that. But when we look at the concept art for some characters that will be coming up very soon, it really makes you question what's really going on and how it's all going to go down. Okay, so the first bit of concept art is from Sophie Campbell, and it's a picture of Renette and Lita. So this one's really interesting, and this one was published about like 2 months ago, and again, it's so interesting. So one, we got Renette, and you know, there's not really too much I can really say about Renette here. She's there, and you know, she looks good and all that, and she's actually in her colours, unlike the NECA toy, but we won't get into that today. But either way, we do have her here, and I can't really say too much about her just because she's there, and with like every storyline that she's in, she changes from one like story arc to the next, so it's really hard to say if she's going to be different or not, but I've got a feeling she won't, but you know, she's going to be there, and that's going to be really cool. I mean, I won't lie, I also do feel as though that like Renette is a really underused character, and I do want to see a lot more of her, so it is great that we are seeing a lot more of her, but at the same time, in this universe of Turtles, she's only appeared in, I think, only a like, handful of issues, so it was a little bit disappointing. Hopefully we can get a lot more stories with her, so we do have that to look forward to. And then we have Lita, and oh boy, they're taking things to the next level. So with this concept art, we do get to see Lita in a what appears to be a Renette inspired outfit, and yeah, that's just amazing. I mean, we do know in the first story arc where she was an adult, she was a time traveler and stuff like that, and she was learning from Renette. So I do find it to be pretty interesting, and I won't lie, it's really cool to see Lita has basically grown up and has actually been able to train and actually learn stuff, and is able to do what Renette couldn't for like most versions, and I do think that's really great, and yeah, it's just so amazing, and I'm really interested to see how she's going to be acting in this new story arc, because in the first one, she was pretty interesting with what she was revealing for the future and stuff like that, and it was just so great, but also at the same time, I do feel as though that she was lying just because there was a few things in that story arc where I was just like really questioning stuff, so hopefully this time will be a lot more different and a lot more better. But then also another really interesting thing which I do want to bring up as well is the fact that if Renette and Lita are supposed to be in this story arc at the same time, then I'm really curious to see if like Lita will also be having a time sector as well as Renette. That's something which I'm really looking forward to seeing like who will get what and stuff like that. So I'm really curious about that. And in terms of like what context they could be with this storyline, I'm not really too sure what they could really be here for. Now, my only guess for these two characters really existing in the storyline is maybe the fact that maybe because Donatello, he knows stuff about the future and multiverse and stuff like that. Now, I'm wondering if maybe Renette and Lita go back to the past and try to stop things there, or maybe take the Turtles to the future, or something along those sort of lines. I do think that it could be something like that, and if that's the case, then you know, I'm finding it to be really interesting just because there's so many possibilities and options that can really take the storyline in, and it's just so great and fascinating. But then there was a pretty interesting character that was just revealed a few days ago, and that is Shadow. So if you don't know who Shadow is, she's basically Casey's and April's daughter, and she appeared in the Drw Comics. She appeared at the very end of like Volume 1, and then she mainly appeared in Volume 4, and also Tales of Timothy Volume 2, and you know, she was there, and she was trained up to be a ninja and stuff like that, and for the most part she was actually a pretty interesting character. However, since the Mirage comics have ended way back in 2014 I think it was, she hasn't really been used since. If anything, she's hardly been used at all, and no one really knows about her character except from like the hardcore fans, so I do find that to be pretty interesting that they're finally bringing her back. Now I'm not too sure what they could be doing with her character, just because the Mirage comics is a very unique version of that character, and I'm not too sure how you can really interpret that into the like RW comics, because there's a lot of stuff that really made her character that were, you know, basically not in the RW comics anymore. And a great example would be Splinter, just because in the Mirage comics, Splinter was the one who's teaching Shadow to be a ninja and stuff like that. And in the RW comics, Splinter's dead, so I'm not too sure how they could really teach her up to be like a ninja and stuff like that. So I do find it to be a really interesting character to bring into the comics and stuff like that, just because they can really take a character in any direction and just be so interesting and fascinating, just for like a variety of different reasons, and it could be really interesting. Now one thing which I won't lie, which I am a little bit curious about, just because like honestly some of her best stories was her as a kid and like growing up with the turtles, so I won't lie, I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm not going to be seeing any of those type of stories, so it is what it is, but I'm a little bit disappointed by that. And then another thing which I was thinking about with a character, like will she be related to Casey, April, or will she be like the Mirage comics again, and be not actually related to them, but like growing up with them? So, with this character I just have so many questions about, because they could really take her in like so many different directions, and really make the like whole series like really fun and unique and great again, but I'm just really curious about it all. And then also, not to mention, one last thing, which is a pretty big thing, is the fact that Sophie Campbell is the one who's drawing these characters and bringing them back into the series and stuff like that to do the stories. However, after issue 150, I believe that she's going to be going, so I don't really know what they're going to be doing for like this universe in terms of the future and what these characters will do. So again, like so many options and possibilities and theories, but I won't say mine's a bit blown, but I don't really know what to really make of all of it. I'm really glad and happy that it's happening, but just like, what? But yeah, I must admit, I'm really looking forward to seeing the return of some of these characters. I'm somewhat interested in seeing the return of Renette. I mean, I think that Renette is a really great character, and it's great to see some more stories. Lita is always a great character, and it's just going to be really interesting to see what we'll do with the time travel elements. And then Shadow, oh boy, I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing with her character. I just really hope that this is like an actual sketch and will actually be like put into the actual comic. I really do hope that, but if not, then I'm not too sure what to really say of it. But yeah, I'm just really excited for this. It's just, yeah, I don't know what to really say, but yeah, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about all this? Are you looking forward to it? Are you not? And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If there's some, please share, let's subscribe and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.